I had a painter, a client. She's a painter.
Okay.
So, and she does like big, like commercial paintings that you hang up in buildings and office buildings and stuff. So as she comes in for her hair to get colored, she naturally always has a speck of paint in her hair somewhere, and you got to sit there and comb it out,
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a teasing comb. Do you know that blue cheater teaser comb with the pick at the end?
Oh yeah.
So sometimes I'll use that to get the paint flecks out because I like how the little teats in there will grab
the little fins on the side of the teeth, right?
Yeah. So sometimes I'll use that. Sometimes I'll use my tail comb. I have a very tight tooth tail comb. Sometimes I'll use a lice comb, depending on how bad the how much paint she's got up in her hair.
Right.
So she sees me constantly switching brushes and combs all the time when I'm going through her hair. Sometimes I use a paddle brush. Sometimes I use a round brush. Sometimes I use a bone comb. Like I'm always using something on her hair, right? It just depends on how much paint she's got in her hair. So she comes in the one time, she got a ball on the side of her head of matting. And I'm like, what did you do to yourself? She goes, I tried to do like you, except it didn't work, obviously. I'm like, obviously, what did you do? She goes, well, I don't have any brushes, but I have paintbrushes. So I figured if I, clean a paintbrush and I just kind of run the paintbrush through my hair, the bristles look like the bristles of one of your she was talking about one of my boar bristle extension brushes, the 2-tier extension brush. Yeah. She's like, yeah, my paintbrushes are kind of like jagged a little bit. So it kind of looked like that brush you had. So I figured if I ran that through my hair, maybe it would, separate the hair, but it kind of made it worse.
How would that make it worse? I would think it wouldn't do anything at all because the bristles would just like flop back out.
But she's got paint specks in her hair. So she's sitting there jamming the brush into the side of her head rather than trying to comb it through.
And she's just teasing it and tangling
her hair without realizing she's teasing her hair, right?
That's hilarious.
So then she goes, well, I was eating lunch and I'm sitting there trying to pick at my head and it's hurting. And I figured, the fork looks like that other comb you have.
She used a fork?
She's sitting there eating. So just imagine she's sitting there eating lunch and she's looking at her fork. She thinks of my teasing comb, my cheater comb with the pick at the end. Yeah. She goes, well, that's got a couple of prongs. My fork's got a prongs.
Yeah.
So she sits there. She says, I tried to start forking through my hair. What?
Wow.
She goes, it kind of worked and it kind of didn't work. And then it got worse and I kept messing with it and I was stuck in traffic and I kept playing with it and playing with it. By the time I got home, it had gotten worse. She goes, my daughter was playing with her Barbie doll. And my daughter had like this small little thing, this small little toy brush. Yep. She was brushing the Barbie. She's sitting there trying to describe to me that brush reminded her of my tight teeth rat tail comb.
Okay.
So she's trying to mimic everything she sees me doing behind the chair. And she's trying to like MacGyver her own version. And nothing is working, and it's only getting worse and worse and worse.
And she's probably not doing all the strokes in the correct direction. She's probably like going.
She's doing nothing in the correct. No, she was telling me she was lifting her hair up and combing it upwards, outwards, sideways, diagonal, every which way except for natural fall.